in the interest of time, let's get to the defensive side of the ball. Let's look at who we got here. Just a recap. Demarcus Riddick, Jonte Waller, Joseph Phillips, TJ Lindsay, Jalen Crawford, Malik Blockton, Caleb Harris, Kinsley Foston, D'Angelo Barber, Aman Lane, and Amaris Williams. A very talented group of players there for our 2024 class. Let's start off by talking about the very top, Demarcus Riddick. What do we think, gentlemen?
The defensive stuff is going to be so much more difficult for me. Demarcus Riddick is another guy who I think is supremely talented. I'm going to have to go redshirt on this one, though.
Redshirt?
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
I'm
going bench.
I mean, who is he? Where is he rotating in to see the field?
Austin Keys, Eugene Asante. You got Dorian
Mousey.
Mousey. You got Robert Woodyard.
And those right there, I think, are the four that are going to rotate in most often at linebacker. And I think Demarcus Riddick is supremely. This has nothing to do with his talent. This has everything to do with. I just think the guys that are in front of him are going to play more.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the science to this is. I just know when the storm is brewing, God will find a way, and Demarcus Riddick is going to be on the field. I'm going bench here. I think he burns his red shirt. And I think they rotate a bunch of guys on defense to try to stay fresh. There's going to be some pressure on them to produce something close to what they did last year. Now, I've been pretty consistent in saying that I think that he's one of the more underrated guys in this class, in that people aren't talking about him as much as I think they should be talking about him.
Yeah, I think a lot of
supremely
the hype is just on the wide receivers, and he's absolutely a supremely talented guy.
Oh man, yeah. I don't.
Wasn't there some positive stuff about him coming out when he was practicing during bowl prep?
Yeah. Listen, I think Demarcus Riddick finds his way to the field somehow, but he might be a guy that you see contributing at a decent level come mid-season. So yeah, I'm going bench on this one. I can see Ike's point of view on redshirt though. I think that's completely plausible. I'm going out on a limb here, just saying he jumps up the pecking order.
Here's why I lean Ike's direction. I want to ask you guys, of the freshman linebackers, is he the first one, if there is someone, to get into playing time and be someone off the bench?
Yeah, and me,
you got DJ Barber right there too.
Yeah, sure. I mean, and DJ's really good, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Like state championship saving tackle on, what was that kid's name? Lacey, the one that went to Texas?
KJ Lacey.
Yeah.
He's still being recruited to Texas. He hasn't gone yet.
Oh, he has? Is he really?
Yeah, he was last year was his junior. This is his senior year coming up.
Oh, okay. I got one more year. Yeah, okay. Well, hopefully he won't ruin his life. But look, there's the Riddick. DJ Barber is good. I just don't. I think Demarcus Riddick is different. Honestly, I just think he's different. And
I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think he is.
Yeah, once he gets a chance, there's going to be some set of circumstances. I'm not telling you I know what that is. I just feel like this kid is going to find he's going to impress the coaches, and they're going to put him in position. And one of the things that DJ Durkin and Charles Kelly have quietly been saying is that they are looking for guys to come up and supplant. Like, they want dogs. They want kids who want to start, who believe they're going to start.
That's how you build depth in a program, is you have to have guys that come in that are good enough to play, but it's just you have really good players in front of them so they don't have an opportunity to see the field.
And we have not been able to say that at Auburn in a while.
Yeah, they think Riddick is one of those kids.
Oh, I believe that too.
Which is why, again, so I'm like, if any kid on defense is going to have a chance to jump talented people in front of them and just be that much of a standout, I personally think it's DeMarcus. But, I mean, like I said, we'll see how these guys, as we get closer to camp, we're going to get more reports about how these guys are absorbing the system that they're trying to implement. And, knowing what to do has a lot to do with how much playing time they see. So
on paper, there you have a 2 deep already in front of Demarcus Riddick, right? However, I already know from this position alone, it's been difficult to keep this room healthy throughout the course of the season. And it's almost as if someone is definitely going to get their name called. I'm going to lean towards bench for Demarcus Riddick just off of what we know to be true historically or just in recent
Well, like I said,
history.
all of my assumptions are people stay healthy. And I know that's the ideal scenario,
sure.
but
Sure. Yeah. Which is fair. It's just knowing this room, bro, it's just like, we're like, man, are we going to have enough linebackers? Thankfully, this year, I think we do. And I think some of these young guys may get their name called because of it. All right, let's get to the next name here. Jonte Waller. Now, this is an interesting one here. Not really interesting. I think I have an idea what you guys may think about Jonte Waller.
He was committed to Florida. He was committed to Florida. I heard an interesting story about this kid that was very, very encouraging about the type of person he is. But see, again, I'm in between. We knew this was going to be a much more nuanced conversation on defense between, like, bench and redshirt. I'm going to go redshirt, but just barely. This could go either way. I don't know. Let me think about it. I yield the rest of my time.
This one's tough for me. This one's tough for me because, Auburn just got the transfer kid over. What school was that he came over from? That's going to be the edge.
Arkansas State.
And so that makes it more interesting for me in this scenario because had they not gotten the transfer edge player,
that's a good point. I forgot about it.
Then it would have been bench all the way. Like he's not gonna start over J Mac. Let me just start there, right? So starter is not the option for Jamal because J Max is that dude. Like he's that good.
Yeah.
So the only options for me in this scenario are going to be bench or redshirt. And I'm gonna go bench on this.
K'Ron Crawford.
Yeah, K'Ron Crawford is the guy. K'Ron Crawford is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go bench on this. I think he plays enough to burn the red shirts. Yeah, I think he plays enough to burn his red shirt. I'll go bench.
Okay. I feel that.
I'm going bench with Jonte as well.
That one is like another razor thin one for me though, like where it's like I can plausibly see either of those two scenarios. But I think that he's ready to go out there and play. You get him out there and let him just be a sub package. All right, it's 3rd and 12. Just go out there and get the QB, man. Like that, like you don't have a whole bunch of other stuff you got to think about. We need somebody who's going to be a monster off of this edge to go get a quarterback sack late in this game, put him in there and let him go get to it.
I feel that. I'm with it.
So what say you, Mike?
I mean, I'm going redshirt, but like I'm on the fence with this one. I really am. I think that a lot of the defensive guys are going to have a chance to contribute because, in general, you rotate way more guys on defense. It's going to be about what, to Ike's point, kind of like, hey, is he going to be physically ready enough that when you need a guy that you could just go out there and unleash? Remember what like Carl Lawson was like his freshman year? Right? It was just like, listen, he's a freshman. He was a true freshman, but you could just put him in a game and unleash him. And in that Iron Bowl, he had some critical stops.
Yeah. I think he can be.
It was literally just find the guy with the football and tackle him, right?
He's going to be, what's the other guy's name that was D Ford-ish? Like, where it's just like, man, you know what? He's just a beast to try to keep away from your quarterback. Let him just go out there and point him at the direction of the QB and say, go.
This was a big flip. Waller was a huge flip from Florida. Well, I don't know. Was he technically a flip or was he? No, he was a flip. He was a flip. He was a flip. So yeah, I like Waller. I think, but I'm going red shirt. Ugh.
Yeah, this one's tough for me. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go bench.
Happy to
go bench.
Yeah,
because I think he will be the number 3 guy at worst, at this position. And again, this is another position I'm glad to see that we're building depth for in the future. So I'm gonna go with benched here. I think he will see the field some, but there's no pressure on him to have to be the guy or be one of the guys in year one. So this is a very ideal scenario for Jonte in year one. So I'm gonna go bench. They burn his red shirt, but he's getting experience behind 2 guys. Joseph Phillips. This kid is also playing. I think he's listed as an edge on the website.
He's in the edge room now too.
This is a red shirt for me.
Red shirt. Yeah.
This one's tough for me as well. But again, I think because of what I said about Jonte just now, I got to put Joe Phillips into the red shirt category. I think that he he's the one of the freshmen in the edge room that will get the opportunity to play first. So I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go redshirt on Joe Phillips, even though I think Joe Phillips is super talented too. Like I loved what I saw from him in the A-Day game. But yeah,
I was excited about this kid when he committed. All right, TJ
this
Lindsay,
one's tough too.
defensive end.
I'm going redshirt.
I think I'm gonna have to go redshirt as well.
No
But
redshirt.
good Lord, man, watching TJ Lindsay just run at his size is so crazy, bro. Like, if you guys haven't seen me do any of the film breakdowns from the A-Day game, if you're a Green Name, you can go watch that. TJ Lindsay running at full speed, trying to run down Walker White. I was just like, what? Who is this massive human being running this fast? Like it. I was like, yo, you're not supposed to, like, at 3-something, you're not supposed to run that fast, dog. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. Like, this one's tough for me and again, I have to think about interior defensive line are the guys who haven't seen the field, Bobby Jamison Travis, the DJ Reeds, are they ready to contribute? Because your transfers in are likely going to play, right? You're going to have Trill Carter out there. You're going to have Gage Keys out there. You're going to have the kid that we got from Texas A&M / USC. Skip his names. Escaping my mind right now for some reason. But those guys are going to play, right? And you still have your Keldrick Falk in there from last year. So, like, does TJ Lindsay, Jason Jones, right? Like, there's enough guys that are up there in that 3-person rotation or that 3 spot of defensive end, nose tackle / D end / D tackle, all of that stuff right there in the center of that defense, where you have a 2-deep rotation. Is TJ going to break into that as a freshman? Physically, he's ready to do it right now. I'm gonna say redshirt.
Isaiah Rakes.
Yes. I'm gonna say redshirt.
I'm gonna go redshirt here. What did you say, Mike?
Redshirt.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we're all in agreement on redshirt for TJ Lindsay. Let's go to the next one here. Jalen Crawford.
I say, man, the defense is so much tougher.
This is a talented kid. Like, this is
very,
someone
very
people
talented.
have projected was like, hey, this is a kid who could crack the playing rotation. Who do we have? Let's look at all of our cornerbacks here. Keontae Scott.
I think KN Lee.
I'm going redshirt. I'm going redshirt on this one.
JC Tyler. Kite.
Yeah, I'm gonna go redshirt.
I'll go redshirt.
Again, he's one who I could see sneaking in there. But I think it's gonna have to be injury that's gonna put him there, as opposed to somebody who's in front of him not playing well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go there. I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. When I look at who's in front of him, I'm gonna go red shirt right now.
Yeah.
Malik Blockton.
Woo! Okay,
he is the reason TJ Lindsay. He is the reason TJ Lindsay to me is redshirt. Like, when I weigh out which of the freshman defensive linemen is going to play, I think Malik Blockton plays before TJ Lindsay.
There is zero chance Malik Blockton doesn't burn his red shirt.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a starter, but I do think that he burns the red shirt.
Yeah, but he burns his red shirt.
He's going to be, by the end of the year, he's going to be heavy, and he's going to be in the rotation.
Malik Blockton.
And he looks like a man. I heard he looks like an SEC ready player.
I mean, TJ Lindsay does too, if we're being fair.
Like a monster. Yeah, but
true.
Blockton is something different. Like, when I saw him at the first spring practice, I remember I was standing next to our guy Zach from Locked On, and I was like, yo, what the hell is he on? He's on some super creatine or something. But that guy looked monstrous. So Malik Blockton is going to contribute this year. If he stays healthy, he's going to contribute this year. And they did such a fantastic job recruiting this class. Listen, you got to be able to get after the quarterback. You got to be able to bring pressures from the outside and stuff the inside. And that's what they're building this D-line to be able to do, right? This defense in general. That's what they're building to be able to do. Blockton looked nuts to me, man. He's going to be a freak. He's going to be an absolute freak. So, yeah, he's a strong bench. And when I say strong bench, I mean, like,
He's going to contribute this season as a freshman.
Yeah, he's going to contribute a lot. Yeah. Like, people will be excited about him dominating the SEC going into 2025. That's how much potential he's going to show this year. Mark that down, dude. He's going to be nuts.
Okay. Caleb Harris. I'm going red shirt.
All right, red shirt on this one.
Yeah.
Same with Kinsley Foston to me. Red shirt.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go red shirt. Yeah, for Caleb. And I think I actually really like Caleb a lot just from watching his tape. I think he's good.
Mm.
He's impressive.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Mike says the same about Kinsley.
Yeah,
Foston.
I think he's a red shirt.
Yeah, I think Kinsley likely is going to be a red shirt. Yeah.
D'Angelo Barber.
I'm on the fence. I'm gonna go maybe bench. He's a tweener to me. Really solid tackler.
So you can see two linebackers.
Yeah, it's just weird, man. I think they're gonna use a bunch of guys. But are they gonna use them 4 games worth?
Yeah, I'm gonna go red shirt on Barber. Again, and I think similarly to how I just said about Hank Brown, if Barber sees the field, he ain't coming back off of it. Like if somebody goes out there and gets hurt, and Barber goes out there and he starts playing, he just gonna I just think Barber's he's just a football player, bro. Like he don't have all the measurables, and he just plays football, man.
Yeah.
And when he gets his opportunity, he's gonna be out there cracking heads, bro. Like it's gonna be he's gonna be one of those guys in the middle of the field where it's like, nah, man, you don't really want to see him in the A gap.
Yeah. All right. So Mike, you're sticking Mike.
Yeah.
You say
Red shirt.
Red shirt. Okay. So you changed it to red shirt. I think we're all in agreement on red shirt for DJ Barber. Aman Lane. I'm going red shirt here.
Yeah. This is a really talented kid, by the way.
Super talented.
He's a super talented kid.
This entire class. I don't think there was a dud.
I like this class.
Yeah, I want to say Aman Lane. Will he have a chance to contribute this year?
Yeah.
He's not going to be a starter.
Yeah.
No.
Some of these guys I'm just in between on. It's tough. The DB, again, should be one of the strengths of the defense. They should be one of the strengths of the defense.
Yeah,
Lane.
I don't know who he plays over, right? Because I think
over
is just that good. I think Keontae Scott is solidified as a starter. Can he be in there and be a slot corner? Maybe. Like I'd see Jalen Crawford being in the slot before I see Aman Lane.
Yeah,
but man, he's and another reason again, he's another one of those guys. If he had been here in the spring, maybe I'd lean a little bit more towards.
Yeah, for our guy lying in a robe here joining, if you missed it, like the distinguishment we're making between starting and benching is that like if they're going to be on the bench, are they going to play enough to burn a red shirt? So you can play it up to 4 games and still preserve that year.
Yeah.
And so if he's not going to, he's going to play. He could be off the bench, but is he going to burn that red shirt? I don't see it. I don't see it this year. I think they try him to see.
Yeah, he will see the field.
There's going to be opportunities.
Yeah.
There's going to be opportunities for
I
a
don't
lot
think
of
he
these
burns his
guys
red
to
shirt.
play at some point.
Yeah, but I don't know if he burns his red shirt.
Yeah.
Hugh Freeze is still kind of old school in this way. Unless you're like a Cam Coleman type, right? He'd rather have you the extra year. It's just that college football has changed so much. So you're trying to get your young talent on the field because patience is going to be a little bit more difficult. And you're going to help them be patient, you're going to see money flying everywhere. Like they're going to try to give these guys every single reason to stay by saying, hey, look, we wouldn't give you all this unless we believed you were going to play down the road. But I don't know. It's just become kind of a necessary evil to college football to say, hey, let's leverage some cash to get them to just be patient so we can develop them and they don't jump to our rivals. So Aman Lane, I mean, what was he committed to Nebraska?
I don't remember where he was. If he,
I don't remember.
I thought
I think
was
he
he the
was
kid that
committed
was
to Auburn. He committed to Auburn early.
early in the
class.
okay? I might be thinking about somebody else. Yeah. So yeah, redshirt.
yeah, I'm gonna go red.
Secondary should be good. Secondary should be really good next year.
Yeah, I think they're going to be good for some years to come, as they've been in the past. Amaris Williams.
This is another one that's extremely
Yeah,
talented.
I'm gonna go redshirt on him though. I think again, like for me, I have to look at the other spots or the places where he could fit in. And right now, he's a defensive end, right? Like, and so the D ends that we have on the team.
Is he a little undersized?
A little, but I think what they want him for is the speed, right? Like, and so if he's going to play, it's going to be a sub package thing. But I think that again, the addition of Keyron Crawford, even though I know he's an edge, but they might slide him over there to play defensive end in sub packages, which is where I saw Amaris Williams getting in. Same thing with Joseph Phillips. Same thing with Jonte Waller. I saw them as sub package contributors, not like every down type of things. I'm gonna go, and he fit like golly, he's a physical freak, bro. Like he is really like he's twitchy. But I'm gonna go red shirt, and that one's tough too. That one's tough too.
Y'all remember the Land Shark defense? Like I see them bringing it back with these kids. They're extreme. Like he's gonna be. Man, the base that they're laying right now for the defense looks ridiculous in a year or two. And then you've got Durkin and Kelly. If those guys stick around, I think they're going to have Auburn. They're in the next 3 years with this class as a foundation. They're going to field one of the best defenses we've seen from Auburn in quite some time.
Very, very high on the talent that came in this class. They did a
man, they did a bang up job. Yeah.
But yeah, so for the day, well, I'm gonna go red shirt on, and again, I think Amaris is
that's a good thing too.
If they're patient,
it's a good thing that we're talking about. Well, no, I'm talking about just for Auburn in general. It's a good thing that we're talking about so many talented kids not having to see the field this year.
Right,
this is a positive for Auburn because if you got to get too many freshmen off the bench, man, you suck. Like, and I think that there's still talent here, and they've done a good job through the portal and trying to plug some holes. But the defense has been pretty good for a while. They've done a good job. Even on the Harsin, I thought that the defense was pretty decent. And Hugh Freeze just has to try to build on that. But the base of talent has come up so much. So you have a higher floor from which to start building on these kids, right? You have a higher development floor. So you're not starting as low as you once were with a lot of them. And man, if they pick up what you're putting down, you've got a proven coordinator on that side of the ball in this league. Why wouldn't they be really good?
Keeping Ike made a good point. Keeping them here is going to be crucial.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, man, we're so bereft of good recruiting classes that we're scared to lose players to the transfer portal, forgetting they can recruit more good players to come be at Auburn, right? And so you can't coach which is why a lot of coaches hate the transfer portal, which is why Coach Hugh Freeze, like he's really, I think, committed to trying to build this program through the collegiate ranks is a difficult proposition in this day and age because these young men can just jump in the portal and leave. But you can't coach from that place of fear of, I gotta play this guy or he's going to leave if it's not the best decision for your football team.
Yeah, every school is dealing. Every school at the top is dealing with that, though, right? You just don't. We don't hear about them as much because those schools continue to win. But Alabama and Georgia, they have 5-star talent and leave their program every single year.
Yeah,
but to Ike's point, Auburn has been bereft of talent and development in certain areas. So every time you get one, it feels like we can't lose this guy. Well, if you're going to be one of the better programs, get used to it. There are going to be not enough spots every year for all the talent that you bring in. And convincing guys to wait is going to get harder and harder. And you just have to recruit so much that you can just promote the next guy behind him and keep it pushing. This is a great conversation that we're having about this class. Remember 2 years ago when we did this?
No.
2 years ago, yeah, 2 years ago when we did this, it was a lot more difficult conversation. I mean, we were sunshine pumping a lot harder, and this is no pump, man. This is just facts on the talent of these kids. But 2 years ago, this was a much harder conversation. It was like, how can I find a way to be positive about this, right? Now, this is to me, this is easy. And I think if you're talking about redshirting extremely talented guys, it means your program is a pretty healthy spot on that side of the ball. Now, look how different the conversation was on the offensive side of the ball. Start, bench, maybe redshirt, right? Like,
Yeah.
lot more benches and starts on the offensive side of the ball than on the defensive side of the ball. But they've been doing better on the defensive side, so I think it's pretty clear they've got a solid foundation defensively. And if they can continue that from last year, they held 6 opponents to 2 scores or less last year. It's a great place to be, and they should have won at least 2 more ball games.
Yeah. But what it also shows, though, is Coach Hugh Freeze had a very strategic way that he approached this. Like, he knew, okay, I don't like where we are in these spots. And so he went and got the best. Like, he knew he didn't like the wide receiver room the way it was constructed. So he was like,
Yeah, he
I will
decided that
not
day
walk
one.
into
Yeah.
2024 with my wide receiver room looking like that. Again, not because these young
Right.
men don't have talent. They don't fit the way I want to play offense. I got to
Sure.
check. We have to flip that room today. And he went out there and he flipped
Yeah.
the room. The room looks nothing like it did last year. You're talking about the size
Yeah.
and composition of guys, completely different builds in that room. You're talking about the star rating of those guys coming out of high school, higher average star rating. You're even talking about snaps that you have in collegiate football when you add a Lambert Smith and a Robert Lewis. It's a completely different room, and he made a concerted effort to say, this is what I'm going to do, so I know I can walk into next season with more talent sitting in that room day one. He did an amazing job with it. And I think next you're seeing 25, he's saying to himself, this offensive line has got to flip now. That offensive line room is going to look completely different at the end of the 25 class.
Yeah, he went to Colonial Bank and got a whole ass cashier's check for that wide receiver room.
Is Colonial Bank
he
still a
cashed
thing?
out on them. I reference Colonial for a reason, but because of who owned it. But look, man, he told you what he thought a prototypical SEC receiver looks like, and then he went out and he got that guy. He got a few of them. Yeah, he wants catch radius, and speed. So he went out and he got those guys. Now you need somebody who can get them the ball, and I think that's probably the harder part of the puzzle to solve. You know, are there a bunch of elite quarterbacks at the Power 5 level? Yeah, like the schools that are finding them are regularly finding themselves in playoff contention. It's really, really difficult to do it without it. You know, and if you're not going to have that, you need an elite system with elite skill positions around the quarterback. So they're doing whatever they can. I think that he understands that finding that elite quarterback may come once every few years. Bama went on a really, really good run of quarterbacks. We can hate it as Auburn fans, but hell, like, you know, from Hurts on down, they've done well in that regard. A lot of people were ready to write Milroe off after like 2 or 3 games last season. And he ended up just coming up short of making New York. So they've got to find
still
that
having a conversation about whether or not he should be the starter going in. I still don't like the lack of trust that they have in Jalen Milroe is astonishing in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, the bar was set really, really high with his predecessors.
But like, what did he do last year to make you say he's not like? Never mind, it's not my program. I'll let Sharice and Skip argue about that.
Yeah. So in my book, you've got to find a guy who can do at least that. You know, Milroe I wouldn't call him a game breaker, but he did what he had to do for them to win games. And if you're Auburn and you put enough skill around a guy, at least on that level, you know, and you hope Walker White can be that type. You know, I thought, again, Mac Jones, he wasn't the most fleet of foot, but he was super accurate. He was extra accurate. As a matter of fact, he's one of the more accurate QBs in the SEC in the last 10 years, if not the most. but he had a crazy completion percentage, and you just got to find a guy who can do something extremely well from that position in today's college football. So Hugh Freeze is going to try to do that moving forward, offensively, defensively. Getting stops always helps, right? Because you're inevitably going to have that game where scoring is hard. It's the SEC, and you've got the bar has moved though in terms of what success will look like in this league. You got 16 teams, and you no longer have to win the SEC or even be the runner-up to make the college football playoff. That's a blessing for Freeze here in his second run through the SEC. So a 10-2 Auburn definitely makes the back half of a playoff without having to play the extra game, which is the SEC championship game. Because I think Ole Miss and Missouri would have gone to a 12-team playoff last year.
Likely, yeah.
Yeah.
I think both those teams would have made a 12-team playoff this year. So you're trying to do what Lane is Lane Kiffin now the floor for making it? It's a blessing for Lane too, because God knows he can't get over the hump.
Yeah.
Right. So they just moved the hump for him. Hugh Freeze has just got to do that. Think about it. You could lose to Alabama and Georgia and then not have to play in the SEC championship game and be like, but our only losses were to Alabama and Georgia. Let us in. This is going to be a hell of a year coming, guys. This is going to be a very exciting college football year for Auburn.
It's going to be interesting.
I'm loving
it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how these guys, how they shake out in terms of our roster and where they fall in the depth chart. We'll definitely keep our eyes locked in on this.
For full episodes, make sure you head over to the War Rapport's YouTube channel and check out the Weekend Tailgate. Every Sunday, we're going live. Join us on the live stream at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until the next time, War Eagle.